Since Elgato announced the Facecam Pro, the price of this camera has been the biggest point of contention. And I think that's because the word webcam is attached to it, but this is no ordinary webcam. Just by the specs alone, it's impressive. 4K 60, variable focus, 90-degree field of view. I just want to talk about that first bit for a second. This camera shoots 4K at 60 frames per second. My $1,000 Canon EOS RP can't do that. This camera can do 4K 60. It's what I'm shooting in right now. This is the Sony FX3 and it is expensive. This is the best web camera I've ever used because this is no ordinary webcam. It has a superpower. And it's called the Elgato Camera Hub. You get cinematic features like pan, tilt, and zoom with the Camera Hub software, meaning that you can do things like zoom in with the touch of a Stream Deck button. You know how a lot of streamers have that quick zoom in that they do on their face using OBS? When you're using a webcam, that doesn't look great, but with this camera, you're not going to lose resolution when you punch in like that. Pairing the Facecam Pro with the Camera Hub software makes this an incredibly versatile tool for your stream. This camera checks all the boxes that you'd want out of a quality streaming camera, and you can use it to film short form and long form content. I think Elgato hit the nail on the head with this one. Speaking of one thing hitting another, if you could hit that like button down there and subscribe, it would really help me out. Thanks. When this camera was announced, I had a Twitter conversation with someone about the bang for your buckness of this camera. Basically, his stance was that at this price point of $300, you might as well upgrade to something like a Sony a6100 and have a real camera. Let's keep in mind that we're talking about a $300 webcam versus a $750 mirrorless body. Just the body. We still haven't bought a lens for this yet. In order to use that mirrorless camera for a stream, you're gonna need a couple things. You need a capture card, you need a dummy battery, you need a good HDMI cable, you need some sort of good camera mount. By the time you buy a lens and all the accessories you need to make this camera stream ready, you've already bought one of these. If you want to talk about bang for your buck and the cost of this versus a mirrorless, it's a pretty big gap. And this is the most important point that I want to drive home from this conversation. Not everyone wants to deal with the hassle of using a mirrorless camera. They are expensive, they are complicated to learn, and they can be very delicate. So who would want to buy this camera? I think this is for the creator who's been rocking a C920 or maybe the original Facecam, but they want to shoot higher quality YouTube videos. This is the camera for them. If you're someone who's thinking about upgrading to a mid-range DSLR, but you're only going to be using it to stream and maybe record some YouTube videos from time to time, I think this is a way better option. Whether or not you should buy this camera kind of depends on your financial situation as well as your aspirations for creating content. If you have the means to buy a $300 camera that will give you a great image for streaming and creating content on TikTok and YouTube, and you don't foresee needing any sort of interchangeable lens down the road, I think this is a great choice. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this camera has more bang for your buck than a mid-range DSLR? If you have no opinion or you don't care to answer, tell me what your favorite pizza topping is. I'm super hungry and I'm thinking about pizza. Pizza. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I will see you soon.